You think NFL players change the game by breaking records? Sometimes they change it by breaking the rulebook. One cornerback was so physical that receivers basically needed permission to leave the line of scrimmage. Another covered himself in enough adhesive to look like a human lint roller. And one bizarre Raiders touchdown involved 3 players moving a fumble toward the end zone until the league decided, okay, nobody is doing that again. These are the players whose styles, hits, and unforgettable moments forced the NFL to rewrite the rules. Deacon Jones. Before sack became an official statistic, Deacon Jones was already treating quarterbacks like unwanted furniture. Jones was fast, powerful, and famous for a technique called the head slap. As an offensive lineman moved toward him, Jones would swing an open hand into the side of the blocker's helmet, briefly disrupting his vision and balance. Then Jones would race past him toward the quarterback. It was simple, effective, and probably sounded like someone hitting a metal trash can with a frying pan. Jones did not invent every version of the move, but he became its most famous practitioner. The technique fit his explosive style so well that it became part of his identity. The NFL eventually prohibited defenders from slapping an opponent's head. The 1977 changes also limited contact with the head, face, and neck in line play. Jones had retired by then, but his dominance had helped make the move impossible to ignore. Deacon Jones helped popularize the word sack. He also helped make one of his favorite paths to the sack illegal. Mel Blount. If you watch modern football, a cornerback can contact a receiver within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. After that, he has to let the receiver run. Mel Blount is a major reason that boundary exists. Blount was 6'3", unusually large for a cornerback, and perfectly built for the Steelers' aggressive defense. Before the 1978 rule changes, defensive backs had far more freedom to make contact with receivers downfield. Blount used that freedom enthusiastically. A receiver trying to run a route against him could feel less like a football player and more like a shopper attempting to enter a store while the security door kept closing. Blount could jam receivers, redirect them, and use his size throughout the route. In 1975, he intercepted 11 passes and won Defensive Player of the Year. The league wanted more offense and a more open passing game. In 1978, it restricted defenders to maintaining contact within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. Beyond that area, illegal contact could draw a penalty. The change became widely known as the Mel Blount rule. The funny part is that it did not remove Blount from the game. He adjusted, remained an elite corner, and played through 1983. The NFL changed the battlefield. Blount simply learned the new map.
Lester Hayes. Lester Hayes was already an excellent Raiders cornerback. Then he discovered that being excellent was even easier when the football could not escape. Hayes became famous for using stickum, a powerful adhesive that players applied to their hands. He did not stop at a polite amount on the fingertips. Photographs show the substance covering his hands, forearms, and parts of his uniform. He looked less like a defensive back and more like he had lost a wrestling match with a bucket of glue. Stickum helped receivers and defensive backs grip the ball. Hayes led the NFL with 13 interceptions in 1980 and won Defensive Player of the Year. His ability was real, but his extremely visible use of the substance turned stickum into a league-wide controversy. In 1981, the NFL banned adhesive substances such as stickum. Players could still wear approved gloves, and modern football gloves eventually became incredibly grippy. But the days of coating an entire arm in adhesive were over. Hayes did not just cover receivers. For one strange season, he nearly covered himself. Ken Stabler, Pete Banaszak, and Dave Casper. With 10 seconds left against the Chargers in 1978, Raiders quarterback Ken Stabler was about to be tackled near the San Diego 14-yard line. He lost the football. Then the play became less like football and more like 3 people trying to push a dropped grocery bag through a doorway. The ball moved forward toward the end zone. Raiders running back Pete Bonazzasak batted it farther. Tight end Dave Casper kicked it, chased it, and finally recovered it in the end zone. Touchdown. The play became known as the Holy Roller, and the Raiders won 21-20. Officials ruled that the actions were legal under the rules at the time, although Stabler later openly joked about intentionally pushing the ball forward. The Chargers were understandably less amused. The following offseason, the NFL changed the rule. After the 2-minute warning or on fourth down, only the player who fumbled may recover and advance his team's fumble. If a teammate recovers it, the ball returns to the spot of the fumble. So yes, an NFL rule exists partly because the Raiders once turned a loose ball into a group transportation project. Roy Williams. Roy Williams was a powerful safety known for pulling runners down from behind. His signature tackle worked like this. Williams grabbed the inside back of a runner's shoulder pads, then used his weight to pull the player backward and down. It was called the horse collar tackle. It became especially controversial after Williams used it on Eagles receiver Terrell Owens in 2004. Owens suffered a severe ankle injury on the play. Williams had also been involved in similar tackles that injured other players. In 2005, the NFL made it illegal to grab the inside collar of the shoulder pads and immediately pull a runner down. The rule later expanded to include grabbing the jersey around the nameplate. It became known as the Roy Williams rule, and Williams kept getting called for it. By 2007, repeated violations earned him a 1-game suspension. Imagine having a rule informally named after you, then repeatedly forgetting that the rule exists. If football history like this is your thing, leaving a like helps more people find the video. Hines Ward. Hines Ward played wide receiver, but some defenders probably remembered him as an offensive linebacker who occasionally caught passes. Ward loved blocking. More specifically, he loved finding defenders who were focused on the ball and delivering a hard blindside hit. In 2008, Bengals linebacker Keith Rivers was pursuing a play when Ward hit him from the side. Rivers never saw the block coming. The contact broke his jaw and ended his rookie season. The hit was legal at the time. That sentence usually means the rulebook is about to receive an update. For 2009, the NFL made it illegal for a player moving toward his own end line to deliver a blindside block with the helmet, forearm, or shoulder to an opponent's head or neck. The change became known as the Hines-Ward rule. Ward said he would still make the block if it protected his teammate, even if it cost his team 15 yards. The league changed what counted as legal. It did not change Hines-Ward's personality. Bernard Pollard and Tom Brady. Opening day, 2008. Chief safety Bernard Pollard was blocked to the ground while rushing Tom Brady. From the turf, Pollard lunged forward and grabbed Brady around the left knee. Brady tore knee ligaments and missed the rest of the season. The NFL reviewed the play and ruled that Pollard's hit was legal under the rule as it existed. He had been affected by an offensive blocker, and the league said he had not committed a foul. Then the standard changed. For 2009, the NFL clarified that a defender on the ground could not lunge or roll into a passer's knee area even when the defender was being contacted by another player. Wrapping or swiping at the legs while making a conventional tackle could still be legal. People called it the Brady rule, although Pollard was the defender whose hit triggered the debate. One play involved two players. The quarterback got the name on the protection. The defender got blamed at airports in New England for the next decade. Calvin Johnson. In 2010, Calvin Johnson appeared to catch a game-winning touchdown against the Bears. He secured the ball, landed with 2 feet and a knee in bounds, placed one hand on the ground, and began getting up. Then the ball touched the ground and came loose. Incomplete. Fans watched the replay repeatedly, using their eyes, common sense, and increasingly creative vocabulary. Under the rule, a receiver going to the ground had to maintain control throughout the entire process of the catch. Johnson's play became the symbol of that language. NFL officials discussed the rule afterward, but it remained in place for years. Other famous reversals, including Dez Bryant's playoff catch against Green Bay, kept the controversy alive. In 2018, owners rewrote the catch standard. Control, 2 feet or another body part in bounds, plus a football move became the central test. The going to the ground requirement was removed. Johnson did not force the change alone, but his catch was the moment when millions of fans realized that the rulebook and the human eyeball were watching two different sports. Navarro Bowman.
During the 2013 NFC Championship game, 49ers linebacker Navarro Bowman stripped the ball from Seahawks receiver Jermaine Kearse near the goal line. Bowman clearly controlled the loose ball. Then players crashed into the pile, Bowman suffered a major knee injury, and officials awarded possession to Seattle. The replay showed the recovery. The problem was that the ruling could not be reviewed under the rule at the time. The league later admitted the call was wrong. In 2014, owners approved a change allowing replay review to determine the recovery of a loose ball. It became known as the Navarro-Bowman rule. Bowman's response was brutally practical. The new rule would prevent the mistake from happening again, but it would not repair his knee. That may be the best summary of NFL rule changes. They usually arrive one play too late for the player who inspired them. The rulebook is not just a collection of technical language, it is the history of people finding every advantage, every loophole, and sometimes every dangerous technique the game allowed. Deacon Jones attacked the head. Mel Blount erased receivers. Lester Hayes turned himself into flypaper. The Raiders advanced a fumble like it was a loose soccer ball. Others produced injuries, controversies, and replay disasters that the league could no longer ignore. The NFL changes because players keep revealing what the old rules forgot to imagine. Sometimes greatness breaks records. Sometimes it creates a 5-yard penalty. Which player-driven rule change should be added to this list? Drop it in the comments and subscribe for more stories hiding inside the game.